Welcome back to the Lost Cause Ranch. So this thing coming down the hill right now, did the smart thing, bought it sight unseen. So not only is it the first time you get to see it, it's also the first time I got to see it.
Look down a little bit. A little more, 5 minutes maybe.
There we go.
Want me to drive out?
Yeah, I'll pick up a hair more. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am for this thing. Although a tiny bit nervous moving it around back here. We rented a forklift. This is a 6,000 pound forklift. This is nearly 6,000 pounds. And it is kind of delicate. And I just frickin' cut myself. I should use a knife. Instead, I'm very safe and just use a razor blade. Still excited. That is right. We got ourselves the world's most expensive brother printer. Now, even better, we have our very own CNC mill, or I guess this is one step better. This is technically a CNC vertical machining center or milling center. I don't know. You can obviously tell I'm new at this. But the thing is freaking massive, and apparently my eyes are bigger than my stomach. I'm not exactly sure this is gonna fit the way I thought, but lo and behold, the real reason why we bought the car wash has finally showed up. This guy is what we needed that 3-phase power for. Like everything else in my life, we need a little cleanup. But we have a bunch of tooling, some fixture stuff. I don't know what that is, but we gotta make a little bit of room. What's supposed to tip? So this thing is obviously a massive guy. It is larger than a Discovery, weighs more than a Discovery, coincidentally costs more than a Discovery. We had to rent ourselves a fork truck because even though we all know I'm a pretty strong guy, I think even this is too much. Being we have the fork truck, we're gonna get this entire side laid out while it's here. Have it do all the heavy lifting. It looks like a bit of a mess right now, but I've been playing with layouts. And I think we finally came to one that is gonna work for now, at least until I change it down the road. But that guy is huge. It's gonna go back there, which means we have to have some of the stuff in place before it goes back there, like our air compressor. And I think the mill fits there, little welding table. Plasma, I think that's a good spot for the plasma because we can punch a hole in for a vent to keep this a little cleaner. And we still got some room over here, but the big thing we got to do is get this in place first. That's going to be the anchor point of the automatic car wash side. And like I said before, my eyes are bigger than my stomach, and I'm not sure this is all going to fit the way I thought it would, but what do you do? Now this thing is large, expensive, heavy, and a bit awkward to lift. And I also imagine a tad fragile if we drop it. So we're gonna try not to do that. And I wanna try and spread the drain here because I'm not too confident in its ability to hold 17,000 pounds. I think that's about as far back as we can go. So we have to have the ability to get into this door, but the good news is we have that door to open up when we need to. So we can squeeze this back quite a bit further than you'd be able to if there was a wall. Now what I want to do, I think, is shift this over and get it close to this side. I think I'd rather have some extra room over here. We'll do a little set it down. Get this thing out of here and see how that looks without a big forklift in the way. I'd say it's large. This is much easier than the last time I moved the lathe. But it is still going to be a challenge because somehow we got to get it sitting right about there. But we don't have a whole lot of real estate to maneuver the forklift in here. Once again, this is awkward, and I imagine it is delicate. Like we're playing Tetris. I was never good at that. Who let me do this? See, my major problem in life most of the time is I don't know what I'm doing. And this thing's on wheels and it wants to roll downhill. Lock that. Well, that one ain't even touching, so. Actually works out pretty well there. I'm happy. So our little mini machine shop is starting to take shape. I mean, I really do think we are utilizing our space wisely on the automatic bay side. We do have that designated for something coming in the future. Just some more fun stuff. But once again, it is still just like Christmas in here. We got a bunch of stuff to unwrap. See if we got something we can make work. We just gotta hit the button, right? Go. 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 It's not going. So like I said earlier, I bought this thing sight unseen, which normally isn't a big deal. I commit to a lot of things sight unseen, but usually those are cars or Land Rovers. And I've been buying and selling cars my entire adult life. CNC equipment, not so much. So I'd say this was a tad bit on the risky side, as I don't know what I'm looking at. I also don't have a single idea what's in these orange packages stuffed inside. So we're gonna pull those out, see if we have any added value, and see what else I need to spend money on. They're much better at Tetris than I am. We'll leave the big one for later. Here are our goods. It kind of looks like we're smuggling something, which as it turns out would probably be much more lucrative. And once again, we're doing this the smart way by holding a bare razor blade by hand. I learn well. Ooh, now those are probably the single most important thing we can get. I did not know it came with all this. I am super happy it does. Inspection report. This is a 2010 model. We have our operation manual, programming manual, installation manual. See, now when I say I didn't know what it all came with, that's because I bought it from a gentleman on Facebook Marketplace, as you should buy all your CNC equipment. He lives in Seattle, Washington. This was sitting in Chicago, Illinois at a rigging warehouse. He never really saw it. He bought it at an auction, had the rigging warehouse pick it up and store it. Then his business plans fell apart. In comes me. I purchase it, store it at the rigging warehouse while we do the rover ball, and have it delivered here. So this is a little bit of a gamble. And we got some more manuals. By the looks of it, I'm gonna have to brush up on my reading skills. This one doesn't feel like a book. And here we go. This is what I was looking for. Some more chipped tooling. Remember the lathe? That is a lot of it used up. I mean, freaking rough on equipment here. I knew I was getting some tool holders, which is nice to have. So these are BT30, the correct size for the machine. But I didn't know we'd be getting some tooling with it. And got some zip ties. Indexable one. Actually, quite freaking pleased at what's happening here. That looks, in my unexpert opinion, to be an expensive bit of kit. And we got this massive boy. Look at the size difference on that guy. Another replaceable carbide insert. End mill. Those are nice. But wait, there's more. Now that was a welcome little bonus. There is 22 BT30 tool holders. Some of them have tools, but most of these appear to be Lindex holders. Quick Google search. That looks like they start at like $150 and go up from there. I imagine these big boys are quite a bit more. So I think we're sitting somewhere. I obviously have no idea how to use this thing yet, but if you're not familiar with what one of these does, this is a 3-axis mill and we have a 14 tool changer. So essentially we can load in 14 different tool setups in each of these guys. I mean, except for that one. That one's missing. We'll have to replace that. But then it swaps out and goes into the spindle. And this guy will spin. And on this machine, it will spin up to 10,000 RPMs. These brothers are on the quicker end of the spectrum. That's kind of why I ended up going after this one, because I like fast things. You know, that's obvious because I am a Freelander owner. But compared to what you would typically see in a small shop like a Haas mini mill, this thing has a similar, I mean, a bit larger footprint, but similar. This guy is quick. So a Haas mini mill would have a tool changer on the side over here, and something of this era would have a 10 tool capacity. This has 14. This thing spins up front here. I'm a geek, so the chip to chip tool changing time. So from the time you are cutting on your part down here, lifting up, spinning, swapping to a different tool, and back to cutting is like 1.4 seconds. I think the Haas was like 7 some seconds. That makes no actual difference to me. I'm not a production shop, but that is cool. Also, the rapid speed in which the table and everything moves. So this lower table moves side to side, front to back, and this head moves up and down. That gets your 3-axis milling capability. It's essentially a bigger version of this in there, just all automated and much fancier. The motors do the work of turning the wheels, moving the table instead of you, but this guy will move at 1984 inches per minute, zooming side to side, front to back, up, down. The Haas Mini Mill, 400 inches per minute. This thing is like the frickin' Ferrari of budget CNC machines. That's probably not the correct analogy, because these are actually reliable. I just hope I don't have as much problem hooking this guy up as I do a normal Brother printer. At least there's no ink. Oh, you're out of yellow ink. You can't print something black. But this guy, coupled with our lathe, is gonna give us some massive opportunity to make pretty much whatever we need to make around here. Stay tuned, there is gonna be some cool stuff getting made on this. We also have our laser hooked up, and those brackets, another machine just showed up. After that one is put together, we are gonna have to play electrician. We gotta get some 3-phase ran from the panel over to this guy. This just needs 110. Lathe needs some 220. New thing going there, also needs some 220. Got a couple welders over here, 220. So we definitely need to throw some juice on the automatic car wash side and get everything up and rolling. I'm so freaking excited. Having something like this has been a dream since I started my business at 18 years old. It only took the better half of my life to get to this point, but we're here. We have freaking loads of stuff showing up and happening here at the car wash. We're gonna have quite the operation. Things are happening.